the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 406 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. I'm going to call this one Homecoming, as yes, the boys are back in town after a long way away. Son is now with the crew, and it's his debut. It's going to be very exciting. And of course, that's right, we're welcoming San Diego into the house for the first time. The expansion side is flaunting things a bit, you could say. And so, yes, the newbies are coming in. I guess it's time to teach them a lesson. You know how that all works. But yes, exciting times. Welcome to Homecoming. Of course, we can't get this episode in play without the boys here. We've got Bam, we've got Tony. I know Bam just coming in from work. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, going all right. Some big news in the world of soccer here in Australia with West United technically now a defunct club, as the federal court refusing to accept a 11th hour bid to pay out the club's $15.5 million tax debt plus some other stuff. So looks like that's one club that's died in Australia.
They've gone into administration. That's it.
Worse.
Banned. Done.
The license is pretty much gone now. So
crazy. The newest one to gone.
Yep.
That's
and
wild.
One of the only Melbourne sites that had a massive dedicated training facility for youth and all that too. So some interesting news coming out of Australia today.
Something tells me that somebody else is going to be stepping in. There are new branding, new everything, new club altogether, hopefully. But wow, that's unfortunate.
Well, the fixture was supposed to be out already, but it looks like it's going to be delayed even more. So we don't know when the A-League will kick off and who will be playing who, because we don't know what clubs will be around.
They broke the system. Jeez, that's crazy. That's nuts. That sounds like something you'd see in the United States with how many leagues we've had come up and come down, and clubs do the same thing, especially with all the NASL madness. We know this feeling. And it's sad as Western United, right? They've actually their ownership's been to LAFC games, and we've kind of had a little relationship with them, so it's kind of sad. Definitely sad.
It is, but you don't pay your players, you don't pay your tax bill. These things happen, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens to their facilities and all that kind of stuff. Whether other clubs go in to buy it, or if other codes go in to try and buy it. So we'll see what happens there.
So yes, let's see what happens. Again, there's facilities there. An existing club might want to take an interest. I wouldn't be shocked with that either. So we'll see what happens. Of course, Tony over there is playing with the blackout lights. Maybe giving you all a suggestion that we may want to black out this weekend. But Tony, how are you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well. It's getting ready for this weekend. Finally back home, I guess. Like you said, homecoming. It's going to be nice to be back home and, supporting the boys and everything. And then also, welcoming San Diego or should I say, welcoming back San Diego, if you know, to BMO.
Yeah.
BMO, but, excited for the weekend. It was as we'll talk about the game, it was a very interesting game, but a lot to be excited about.
That's for sure. And of course, there is also a few bits and pieces of news that we do need to cover as well. Of course, there's a new face entering the fray. I'm not sure he's available yet because he's certificates and everything, but we signed Alexander Baluta from FCSB Romania. About 33 years old, I believe, plays right wing and central attacking midfield mostly, and also withdrawn forward, but mostly out on the wings. That's been his historical position. Long storied career, to be honest, in Romania. Also, He has featured about 8 times for the Romanian national team, so there is some interesting experience that we're getting. And you're like, wait, another winger? You know JT, he loves his wingers. Wingers are his thing. His favorite band's probably Winger. I mean, at this stage, what else would you expect? I know Bam over there's chuckling a bit. It's kind of true, though. I mean, we love spending money on wingers, right?
Yeah, but this one we didn't spend any money on. It was a free transfer, so can't be hating that.
Yeah. It's kind of, and it's interesting because it's a short-term deal with an option, so it's low risk too. So
The only thing I'm thinking is we're looking towards the future because maybe a player might be getting. They had some talks about selling a player during this window, but it didn't happen in time, so they're probably getting ready for the next window.
Well, I mean, that's something that we have to accept, right? This is business. You kind of expect that a certain core of players in our lineup right now, you kind of expect them to leave at the end of the year. This is a swan song, right? This is a cup run for these guys, and a few will be taken off at the end of the year, and some big names probably taking off. Changing of the guards, yeah, probably, but of course we know there's this new generation too, with Sun being here. And so there's a different look that you're probably going to see in the future. But while we have who we have in place, shaping up pretty good for a run this year. That's for sure. Tony, your thoughts on the new signing?
I think it's just more of like kind of like depth for the season. We've seen this before, and when we made our cup run, like with Tello, Boanga, we didn't know what they were, the unknown players, so could be one of those things that they'll come in and just surprise us and wow us, and then, as Bam says, long-term future, but also could be like need them for the rest of the season. At the end of the season, thank you for everything you've done, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, and this also frees up. Okay, so we've got 2 young guys that play on the wing right now. We now have an experienced player coming in. Probably somebody's pretty good at setting other players up. I think that's the profile that we've seen so far. And so it's probably what we're looking at is service from the outside, bringing it in. We have some wingers that like to cut in, others that like to cross, others that like to play more central, right? They drift. So we'll see the dynamic and how it fits as we go. I know we've done this before. It worked out well when we got Boanga. Remember that at the last second one season? So just saying, we'll see what happens. Of course, the other news, which is kind of the very sad news, is Maxime Chanot has retired. Yes, our center back. It's rough. He took that concussion against San Jose. He's been out ever since. Clearly, it's something that's not improving. Sadly, I mean, honestly, he's a warrior. So to see him in this situation where, because of health, he has to retire. Yeah, I mean, it's the smart thing to do at this stage, right? Health is always going to be number one. I just hope he sticks around for our playoff run, just to be there. But yeah, we're going to miss him on the field, that's for sure, and off the field, because he's a character. That's for certain. Tony, your thoughts on Maxime?
Unfortunate. I know, like, as we were talking about earlier, that this was the swan song season, it seemed like. At the end of the season, he might have retired, but you kind of just don't want to see them like end it like this, like kind of a season, like not a season, career-ending injury. I wish him the best of luck. Thank you for like the leadership that you brought in for helping us win the U.S. Open Cup and everything. So I wish the best for him in moving forward, and like good, healthy recovery from that head injury. That's the most I would want from him, and best of luck to him. And again, hopefully he stays on and still is somehow involved, not with football, even if it's not with us.
Right. Yeah, I'd expect it. He's always had that leadership mentality. Again, he did win MLS Cup with New York City FC as their captain back in the day. Got a U.S. Open Cup with us. I'm sure we'll see him around. You have that feeling, Bam, your thoughts?
It's devastating to see him have to make that hard decision. I couldn't think of how hard it would be. Someone who still loves the game as much as he does, plays the game magnificently, and having to retire because of an injury, I think it's one of the hardest things that you could ever do as a player. I would love to see him stick around at the club, whether it is just going in, helping the LAFC2 team with the coaches there, or if the club helps him get his license go through so he can teach our under 10s, under 16s, under 15s, all that kind of stuff, get him his coaching badges to do that, because the amount of knowledge that he'll have and the wealth of experience that he could pass on to these kids about how true leadership is, I think will be a major asset for the club.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So again, just hoping for the full recovery at this stage. Get back to as normal can be. Yes, the football side is done in terms of playing, but there's so much more you can do with this game. So again, nothing but the best for Maxime Chanot. Thank you, man. Thank you for all that you've done for us. Forever grateful, and you're forever black and gold as far as I'm concerned. So yes, that is what's going on. Of course, we did have that match against FC Dallas. Let's get right into it. On the road, you know our history in Dallas. It's never been pretty. It's one of those trap kind of games, right? Every season, the Dallas game seems to be trouble. This game proved to be no different. Let's be honest. Little bit better result, but still a battle. It was a 1-1 draw. We scored first off of a brilliant free kick by Sonny, and then they got one back in the 13th minute on a deflection. Super unfortunate goal. 1-1 draw. At least we didn't lose that we normally do, so that's good news. Now, in terms of lineups, I know we were talking about yellow card concerns and maybe they're going to rest guys. Guess what? They didn't. We'll talk about that. But basically, Lloris was back in goal. Tafari, Segura, your center backs, because, well, that's who's available. Palencia and Hollingshead, yeah, right. They both got out there. And then Igor Jesus, Tillman, Delgado in the mid, with Sun up top, with Ordaz this time and Bouanga. I know we discussed Ordaz and hopefully seeing him in this situation. Well, guess what? There he was, worked itself out. In terms of the lineup for the other guys for Dallas, no surprise. Honestly, 3-man back, Abubakar anchoring things with the Villaga and more. De Silva, Ferreira, and Capiz holding it down in midfield with Ramiro and Camungo on the outsides. Up top, it was Farrington, Delgado, and Julio. So, again, no shocker on what they were going to come out with at this game. But the way the game played out, maybe a little surprising, right, Tony? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, surprising. Just like to break it down really quickly is just like, Sonny has finally opened up his account in MLS with a beautiful strike. It was one of those things where it was like there's no blocking that. It was a perfectly well dead ball accuracy shot class all around. And then old LAFC seemed to peer its ugly head again with 6-7 minutes later, Logan Farmington with a goal with kind of a aerial battle, miss header, gets the Dallas gets it back. Well, it's going to be weird to say Delgado, but Patrickson Delgado with the assist to Logan Farmington. And, after that, the game kind of died out. It was again, if you were at the watch party, it felt like we were there. The humidity and everything, it felt like we were there at the game. And the other unfortunate cause of the game that's going to affect us moving forward is Hollingshead got his yellow card, which, if I remember right, and it should be, he's not available. Yep, it was cynical. So he's not going to be available for San Diego. So we shall see what the lineup comes in when we talk about that game moving forward. But overall, it was welcoming. There was a lot of movement between Sonny and Bouanga and Ordaz. There was some, but again, there's also the downside of which is maybe why we have this winger, is Martinez was kind of lost in the woods and kind of just not there.
Yeah, it wasn't fitting. Honestly, not this match, at least. I know we're going to get more from him soon enough. We will. But it wasn't his best, right? He's had some great days. This wasn't his best. Midfield situation with Igor Jesus going down to injury as well was really disheartening to see. Of course, Chouanier comes in. He did look the part, like we expected him to. But yeah, the game kind of canceled it out. Both sides canceled each other out. We did dominate on stat wise, but yeah, just a lack, man. And then of course we had extended periods of injury, a crazy amount of injury time that was just, I thought we were going to get in trouble just because it was brutally long. As of course dangerous for the guys. It felt like 15 minutes, man. It was kind of crazy, right, Tony?
Oh, that was just unheard of. I felt like I was back in we were back watching the World Cup all over again, with the enormous amount of extra time of 12 minutes. I was like, are we going into overtime or not? Like there's extra time and then there's overtime, and I felt like we were playing an extra overtime game at that point.
Yeah, it felt weird, that's for sure. Funny thing is, we had 20 shot attempts, only 7 made it on goal. One of those nights. So, yeah, there it is. We got the draw, better than the loss, but we did lose a huge opportunity to gain a place in the standings as both Portland and San Diego canceled themselves out with a draw this week. So you could have made up some ground, didn't do it, and now we're here, right? My thoughts again: wasted opportunity, yes. Didn't lose. That's an improvement, but yeah, could have been better. Could have definitely been better. Any other thoughts from you, Bam, on this match before we move on to some happier news?
The second half was boring. Got a bit boring there and all that kind of stuff. It was like seeing Son score his first goal was a cracking goal. As I tweeted out, it looked like he'd been taking some set up early that morning and watched a bit of Iracunda scoring a massive free kick in the championship too. So seeing he took lessons from that and then score that goal was amazing to see. We got unlucky with their goal. It just came off the defender's toe, redirects, and nothing Hugo Lloris could do about that. No. But then after that, it was just like, cool. What are we doing now? It was just no urgency, nothing like that, which in a way, if they're saving themselves for this weekend, good. But I'm a bit scared going into this weekend because if we play like that, we're dead men walking, plain and simple.
Yeah, I will get punished playing San Diego the way we played against Dallas. That I think you're spot on. I think, didn't San Diego beat these guys like 5-0? Like, they destroyed Dallas earlier in this year.
Like, one moment, let me go.
There was a blowout match. I know it. It was bad.
They won 3-2. The last game against Dallas in Dallas, they won 3-2. Before that,
yeah, it's
but they played at home in early May.
So there it is. So again, think of the level of your opponent coming up, and Dallas ain't that level. So there goes that. Now, there was some happy news. LAFC 2 got a massive win. Again, staying alive, right? They took down North Texas SC 4-0 on the road in Dallas. DeCarlo Guerra, Sebastian Nava, Gavin Zambrano, all four scored all the goals. Again, the boys featured well. For Zambrano, that was his first professional brace. Won MLS Next Pro Rising Star title for match week 24. Yeah, right. It highlights the best academy player of the week. And there it is. We got one. Of course, they're going to be playing Austin next. It'll be Friday, 7 p.m. on Apple TV Plus. That'll be in Fullerton, guys. So if you want to see the boys play on Friday, they're there. They're there. You're going to have a good time out there. So that is what's going on the field with the boys, both the top side and the second team. I see a couple comments from the faithful, so I do want to hear from you guys. Let's see who's on there right now. We've got Dave. Dave is in the mix today. He says, bring on Diego, vamos. He says, sun finally rises at home. Dude, this is like the longest homecoming wait ever for a new signing. It's been kind of torturous, I got to be honest. He says, we keep signing middies when we need backs. It's weird, man. It's weird. I know. I mean, we did sign some players to play defense, and we just haven't seen them yet. So there goes that too. And Dave says, of course, 5 points on the road swing is okay. 7 points for right there. Yeah, I agree, man. We wasted 2 that we should have gotten this last game. It would have really helped us in the chase. Because, kid you not, guys, we're still in the chase for top in the West. We ain't out yet. Got so many games in hand. It's still there, but now we got to get a result this weekend to really get into the race. And if we don't get a result, yeah, chances are going to get slim. So we will cover that for sure. Thank you, Dave, for that. Outside of the LAFC2 update, thank you, Araceli, for the information. We'll get her back soon. That's for sure. Busy times for her as well. Club and community news. I know we're going to keep shoving through here, getting to this preview because you don't want to talk about San Diego. I know we want to talk about it. It's all about that game. So, club and community news. Tony, what have we got going on, sir?
Pretty much we just have a huge tailgate. The first one of I feel like August. It feels like it's been forever that we've been back there. We'll be having some live bands at the tailgate. You know, as we were talking about the ska movement. But with that being said, I'll talk about it more in my final say, but I'll bring it up here. Be mindful. We're gonna get a lot of, and I'll say this not randoms, but randoms for San Diego, and then also San Diego during, before, after, whatever. So just be careful moving forward during the tailgate, during the game, after the game, all that stuff. But also enjoy yourself, drink responsibly, because it's gonna be a hot one, like always has been that here in LA. Unfortunately, we're not out of summer just yet. So, but yeah, just tailgates moving forward. Game is finally, as it was said, 7:45. The date was been set, and
yeah. I mean, the kickoff time moved around a lot because of Leagues Cup. I mean, that's what shifted things about. Leagues Cup, interesting results last night. Yeah, guys. Honestly, as Tony says, be careful on this one. It is technically a rivalry match, even though they're new. Those who went to San Diego know why, right? Be careful out there. Honestly, it went very south. Right, Bam? It got kind of rough when we were over there.
It turned quick.
Yeah. So be careful, right? At the end of the day, not the scarves. Be smart. Travel in pairs. I know it's a home game. We have that advantage. But y'all came to see our boys get a win, do the job. Sonny make his homecoming. Make sure that you're in that stadium when kickoff happens. Just be smart. I think that's the easiest thing to say. And of course, enjoy the music. The ska music's going to be amazing, right? I mean, when was the last time 3252 had a concert? I think this is new grounds. With this many bands? Tony, we've never done anything like this before. This is big.
no, we haven't. So this is going to be a kind of a new one for everybody. So it should be a fun event. So again, be safe and have some fun.
Exactly. So we'll see you there at the tailgate. Definitely, this one's worth it. Yeah. Beyond that, of course, speaking of music, Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. Anybody got a good nominee for this one? I know we're talking ska bands. Thoughts, everybody? Where are we looking? Oh, Bam's got something.
Yeah, I'm going to a ska band from the 80s, based out of England. I'm going to go with Madness, and one of my favorite songs of theirs is House of Fun.
There we go. I'd love it, man. Madness. You brought madness into the mix, dude. Went old school. Love it.
The other song I was going to do of theirs is another one of my favorite songs of theirs, Our House.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting run. Okay. What do you got, Tony?
Since we are facing San Diego, and it's a kind of more of a SoCal kind of feel, and when you think Los Angeles, when you think of San Diego, there are two sports that are connected, or two, we'll say, extreme sports that are connected with that: skating and surfing. So I decided to go with Goldfinger.
Ooh, yeah, I got some of those albums. Yeah,
And
all right.
I'm gonna go with what introduced myself into Goldfinger, and probably most of our listeners and skaters that we have around here. Superman. If you know, you know.
Did you see
Nice.
Yes.
what they
yes.
posted recently?
No, what did they post?
What
They
do?
had Tony Hawk on stage with them singing Superman.
Oh yeah, that was like a while ago, if I remember
Yeah,
that.
that was a
Yeah.
while back. Yeah.
That was for the release of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered, if I remember right. And it was here in LA. It was a very
Yeah.
private event. I was trying to
Like,
see any of my
beginning of the
old
month.
yeah, I was trying to see if I can get any like my old like skate buddy, skate shop connects that I used to have, see if I can get into that. But unfortunately I got no responses, so missed that event.
There we go. All right. So thinking of local ska bands, I mean, I could always say Hepcat would be a good one to run with. Yeah, definitely. The other one is not quite, I mean, yeah, some sounds, but No Effects, who playing their farewell shows like recently. Punk and Drublick would be a great album to run with because that's as local as you get. If you want to go to San Diego, I would think Bucko 9 might be a choice, right? If you're going to choose a San Diego band that's a ska band. Yeah, they have a song called My Town, which is kind of obvious there. So that's for them, not for us. But I'll stick with my No Effects. Yes, Tony.
I just thought of something, and I should have done with that one. I'll keep Goldfinger and Superman, but just listen to them. All right. I promise you will love it, both of you. You especially, Joseph. The Aquabats.
Oh yes, they play. Didn't they play the Warp
Mhm.
Tour?
Yeah, they're from
Yeah.
Huntington Beach, but I was like, I just saw a picture with like looking at Goldfinger, and then I was like, I saw a blue shirt with a black like kind of like hoodie kind of thing, and I was just like, wait a minute, why is that? And then it just clicked, and I was like, if we're gonna do rock and we're doing like this whole like kind of ska like 90s kind of feel, but like the way I would do it, and I was like, Goldfinger's fine, but Aquabats, any album, by the way, any album, good. And they
Yeah.
have some famous alums, by the way.
And
Look it up.
Yes, and if you want to go with something in Espanol, of course, Los Fabulosos Cadillacs would be an easy choice. So we'll leave it at that, I think. Kind of the easy one, but easy one. So, all right. You got a lot of music from us. Check that out. We kind of went crazy this episode, but it's okay. More music, the better. Tony's got to build this mixtape. It should be a lot of fun to see.
Gotta go back through so many episodes.
Enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Licensing everywhere. All right. So let's get into it. Now that we talked the music, let's talk the football. All right. So San Diego FC is coming to town. The hottest team in the league, everybody. And I'm not making fun of them. They quite literally are the hottest team in the league right now. I believe they're coming in with oh my Lord, that's a lot of points. Yeah, they got 53 points so far out of 28 games played. First in the West. Not on top of the Supporter Shield race. I believe that's Philadelphia at the moment. Those guys again. Yeah, those guys again. Miami, of course, is in the mix too, but there's several others. Now, you're like 53 points. How are we going to catch those guys? Well, they've played 28 games. We've played only 25 games. You get the win this weekend. Push. Everybody plays one game, right? There's the big swing. You could take a run at these guys. That's how it's got to be. Now, have they been a hot hand? Yes. They haven't lost in their last three. The last teams that beat them were Liga MX teams. So, right, in Leagues Cup. So they're looking pretty strong. They're looking proper right now. They've also got a guy that, if Messi wasn't in this league, would probably be the league MVP, but you know how politics are. That would be Anders Dreyer from Denmark. Dude's got 13 goals and 16 assists this season. What a surprise he's been for everybody. I mean, honestly, way above, I think, what even they thought they were going to get from him. But he is carrying this team. There is no doubt. Chemistry is good. They look good, but those are crazy good numbers. And in any other year, you would be MVP. But because of a certain individual in Miami, I think the votes are just going to be hard to get. Outside of that, of course, Chucky Lozano is there. 8 goals so far this year, 7 assists. So he's still producing kind of normal numbers, right? Beyond that, of course, Luca De La Torre is doing his thing in the midfielder. Another Luca, of course, Bombino is now getting minutes for them. Our former Academy and LAFC 2 kid has really taken off after we loaned him over there, and I guess we're not getting him back, right? So yeah, and of course, Thomas Angel might feature in this game. Another familiar face, Cisniega, but probably not going to play. Yeah, there's some familiar faces. Last game, of course, they tied Portland 0-0, but they definitely had the chances to take that game. Before that, they beat San Jose on the road, beat Kansas City on the road, even beat Mazatlan in Leagues Cup. So, yes, looking decent. Bam, your thoughts on the San Diego side? They look pretty solid.
They do. Just before we go into that, they have already listed Cisniega out. So they've listed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going
he's
by
not
the
their
list.
starter anyway, so
No.
I don't expect
Harangi, Commando, Cisniega, and Verhoeven are all out. And Marcus Igavaston is listed as questionable going into this weekend. So this got updated earlier today.
They did make an acquisition. Another familiar face, everybody. Corey Baird is now in the mix. He played center forward in the 4-3-3 against Portland. Nearly had an assist. Really close offside call. But he's basically playing as a plug-and-play distributor to the wings. Yeah, that's what he's looking more like at this point, with Lozano and Dreyer just letting him go free. I mean, that's what I saw from, the bit I did. Of course, this Corey Baird, we know the quality that he can bring. He had a good time with us. Things got tight for him. He went to Houston, and now we see him here in San Diego. Other faces, of course, Verskov is tough in midfielder. Valakari, De La Torre, like I said, dude's legit. Dua, McVeigh in the center back position. Bombino playing right back. Negri left back. I'd expect to see those faces. It's a tough team. I think besides the 4-3-3, of course, Dos Santos in goal, and that's who we expect, of course. Again, I expect the 4-3-3. Why they shifted in the old way. Tony, you've looked at this team. I know they've matched us up before. Don't expect major changes, right? I mean, this is kind of what to expect, right?
Yeah, it's kind of what to expect. They're coming off a very hard tie, is the best way to say it. That was against Portland at home. San Diego was at home and tied Portland. Like I said, the offside call, potential penalty kick, but it was it wasn't called, but they had to review it. It just seems like their front line, from what I was seeing, of course, matching all those cylinders. It's Chucky's not the goal scorer that he is. He's more a distributor as he's been in the MLS. You can tell with his goal contribution. But the midfield and the defense, I think, has been a little bit, I'm going to say this in a very positive way, a little bit on the decline from that. Because again, Portland is a very rough team. There's not that much skill, but they play you hard, and it showed. And I think San Diego kind of showed a little bit of weakness. Again, they haven't had their slump through through every single brand new team that starts off hot, or any season. It doesn't have to be new or old. There's always a slump, and they haven't hit it. Could this be it? Maybe. Am I 100% sure? No, but just putting it out there.
Yeah, again, this is a new team, right? They've gelled quickly, but it's still an expansion side. It's still a team that hasn't had all those experiences yet and had to deal with all of those experiences. And teams like this that rush to where they're at, they're kind of hoping for a slump sometimes, because if you go in that high and that playoff vibe changes right away, yes. That can be an issue for you. Also in MLS, those with experience in MLS knows the teams in April, May, June, it kind of changes when you get to about September. Late August, September, all of a sudden the experienced teams start taking off, like Seattle now, that's flying, absolutely flying. Us who are retooling, you'll start to see a bit of a change to some of the more experienced teams, and all of a sudden they start making that march and teams start fading. So there's always a shift in September, and it gets really noticeable. As you see who's now on top of the Supporters Shield standing, old Philadelphia, finding their way back into the mix again after being not so great. There they go again. So yeah, San Diego is looking solid. They look right. There are some injuries, right? Harangi, Ingvartsen, Verhoeven, Cisniega, as we mentioned before, Kumado. They've got their injuries. Of course, that's not saying that we don't have our own issues to deal with, because we've got some serious ones. Hollingshead, again, out with suspension. That ain't great. Long is still hurt. Ibobase is still listed. Delevalle is always listed. Yes, so there are some faces there that are missing that are important to us, especially Hollingshead, his moments. Now, I will say this. For the first time in a long time, we actually have a legitimate replacement for Hollingshead. So while it hurts to be missing him, someone else gets to step up who really, now at the stage that he's at was not the same guy back in the day. So it should be really interesting to see how we're going to treat this match. Bam, I look to you, sir. I know we're expecting the 4-3-3. We're at home. That's what we do. What's your center back setup and outside back setup going to look like?
Cut and paste, obviously, no Hollingshead. So straight swap Hollingshead for Smolikov.
Right. So that's, again, no shocker there. It wouldn't be a shocker. And Palencia, we thought he had a card and then didn't have a card because he didn't foul anybody. That was nonsense. But hey, he survived. I couldn't believe that they both made it. I was with you, Bam. I'm like, for sure we're losing both. We're gonna lose them both. We didn't, thank goodness. But we looked at it. It could have been. It could have been. Now the midfield situation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got very lucky there. When I saw the Palencia and I saw the other card, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But knowing that it was outside the box, and that's why we got VAR. VAR is there for that reason. There was a mistake, so they went on and did it. So for me, it was the perfect thing to do.
It did its job this time. It did its job. And it did its job for the San Diego match last time. Offside and penalty that weren't, offside was, penalty wasn't, and it worked itself out. So it does work, guys. It does work from time to time. Sometimes it's an abomination, especially in Leagues Cup. But yeah, there's that. Now, midfield situation, of course, Jesus isn't listed as injured. Am I seeing that correct? He's not listed.
Yeah, that's correct. No, he's not listed as being injured. So the only people that we have listed being injured at the moment is the same four that's been injured for the whole time. So
yeah. So okay. Now, that being said, in the midfield and seeing how he went down in the last match, Tony, do you think Jesus is going to play in this game?
I don't think he's going to play. It's a blessing and a curse is the best way to say this. He's become the new Segura. If you've been listening to us for a while, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe yeah. So
maybe what, Tony? What? Maybe what?
Maybe what?
PG. But I'm kind of okay with it for right now because I just think he needs some time to rest, and maybe this is the perfect time to do it, especially with how he went down, and it could kind of revitalize him. I think is the word I'm looking for. I think I said that wrong, but kind of help him out.
Also, he did have a horror match against San Diego that pretty much cost us the game. So, like we said, the Segura moments, he had a big one there. Bam saw that firsthand, right, Bam? So he's out. He's out. We don't expect him to play. I know he's not listed as out, but man, it looked rough. Now, that being said, the midfield situation. Actually, I'll go back to you, Tony, on this. Who's going to be in the midfield? What's your predictions?
Tillman, Delgado, and question: has our new midfielder been his? I haven't seen any reports that his P1 has gone through yet. So
Our Irish midfielder.
Yeah, Moran.
Nothing
Moran.
yet.
Sorry. Okay, so I was gonna say Moran maybe, but who am I missing?
Rhymes with Swan.
Actually, I'm gonna take a page out of
Switching
Bam's book and do Martinez.
What? Dang, that should be interesting. So Martinez, number 8, as Bam calls him, and Thielman. Bam, your thoughts on your midfielders? Are you agreeing on this one?
No. So I'm going Tillman, number 8, and the guy that came in to replace Igor, Chonier.
Yeah. I'm with you on this one. I think that's what it's gonna be.
I'd love for Tony's lineup to be there, but
I don't see it.
Having Martinez and Ordaz on the same side together, I think will be brilliant football.
Could be. I mean, the one time we did see Martinez as an attacking midfielder, I think that was against Portland. We didn't get the result, but he looked good.
Yeah.
So that was that. All right. So now you get it up to the wingers and striker and the two obvious ones, right? Sonny, Denny, they're up there. We got to come up with a nickname for those two together, right? You have Robbery, right? Back in the day. We got to figure out something with those two. And then who goes with them, right? Is it Ordaz? Is it Martinez? It's not the new guy. His certificates aren't in yet. Could it be someone else? I highly doubt it. So, Bam, your thoughts on that one?
Just because of how they gel, it's got to be Ordaz.
Agreed. We need Scrappy Doo. No doubt.
Yeah. It's the way that Ordaz and Son just bounce off each other. It's at the moment, especially coming up against San Diego, it's the must set up. Plain and simple.
We need chemistry in this match. And Martinez late, expect it. Get them on the counters. They're going to get us on the counters. We got to get them on the counters. Tony, your thought up top? Start Martinez, start Ordaz.
Like I said,
you said Martinez in the mid.
Yeah. So but
anyway.
So here's the I would start Ordaz, but I want him to hopefully he's learned a lot more about the way to finish is the best way to get this is the best way, because in the last 2 games he's had some great opportunities with Sonny and Bouanga, getting him the open field to do whatever he wants, or like just to have the shot. And it's the hesitation, it's the like not able to make a decision quickly is cost him, I think, 3 goals. Pretty much is the best way to say it. So hopefully he's learned from that, and in training he's been learning from Sonny, still learning from Bouanga, but mostly Sonny, and bringing that to the table to finish that. Because we'll put it this way, he will be the X factor of maybe why we win this game, if we win this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, guys. There is no doubt. San Diego is dialed in. They're ready for this game. Their supporters are chirping like crazy. Their fan base is chirping. That's kind of how we were chirping against Seattle back in the day. Remember those days? Honestly, we are who we are for a reason. We've done what we've done over the years. This is home cooking. And whatever we did over in San Diego, well, you know us on the road. It's never been so great on the road for us. Even from the supporter stand situation, wasn't the greatest performance we've ever given on an away day. It was a rough one. Got to be honest. We'll be better for this one. Trust me. We'll show up. The boys will show up. This is going to be a battle. this is the Battle of California at this stage, right? These are the two best teams in the West this season. Are we going to catch them? Well, this is our chance to. That simple. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. I like Ordaz up top. I think the chemistry is already there with Sonny. And then chemistry is definitely there between Boanga and Sonny. That's real. Chouanier getting a full 90 is going to be beautiful to see as well. Again, we're missing Jesus, but I think Chouanier with more time is just going to keep showing what he's got. Other faces. Oh, we forgot to mention a certain Scottish player that got minutes in the last game that is available for this game too. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Center back.
Mhm.
That could add a wrinkle. Just maybe. So that too. So again, we have options now. We have subs. We have depth that we didn't have before, thanks to so many purchases we've made. Deeper than what we were when we played them the last time. They aren't as deep this time, right? They've got some injuries. So we'll see how this matches up, but I expect our boys to step up for this. Am I going to predict it? Hell no. This is going to be a tough one. So I'll go to you, Tony. What are the boys going to have to do to get a result on the day? I know we talked about a certain player, but as a unit, what do they got to do?
Control the midfield is the key. It's I think with our defensive presence now, it's finally there's a mesh of well with newer and older players now finally working well, especially with Smolikov being the bright light in the back. But it's going to be the midfield. If we can control the midfield and deny the flow or in the pretty much like ability for them not to have the openings to find, Chucky or any of them, I feel that if that is locked down, we have a great opportunity to win.
Yeah, I mean, again, tough. They got to find a way to cancel out Serkov and Valakari, right? I mean, those are the guys. One's got 8 assists, I believe. The other's got 7 assists. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. They're going to have to find a way to cancel those guys out. They're going to be quick on transition, but, we can be quicker. So we got to do what we got to do. That's for sure. Uh-oh. You good, Tony?
Yeah. I was like,
I
was like,
yeah, looks like Bam faded a bit and came back. I don't know. Maybe he had to get a drink.
No,
Well,
just there's
yeah.
storms going through my place at the moment. So
okay.
So you know what that means, right, Bam? We got to ask you, what do the boys have to do before they kick you off the internet, man?
What they have to do, as Tony said, control the midfield. That's going to be where we make or break. Palencia and Denny need to be on their best behaviors because we need them both. That even I just had a quick look. Denny's 1 card away from a suspension too. So,
Ooh.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah, because we got the other last game. Yeah, and obviously like exactly. And I think if we do, because after this game, there's a week break before our next game as well. So hopefully, if he does cop that yellow card, go out and just get a red card. That way, it cancels out as well. But make sure that you're there to back up your teammates. It's going to get scrappy. It'll be a little bit dirty. But just like the fans in the stands, on the field, show up and back up your teammates. Don't let them push them around.
The boys to last for 90, right? We got to last for 90. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. Well said, sir. So, yes, we need the 12th man to show up. That's where we're at. All right. So, on that note, not so many comments this episode. Yeah, kind of a light one. Middle of the night on Thursday. So, we're just going to kick it through and go to our final thoughts on the day. I will lead with Tony on his final thoughts as we close out another lovely episode of the Heart of LAFC podcast. Go for it, sir.
Final thoughts is be safe this weekend. This is going to be a very high profile, high attended game. One, because it's a rivalry. San Diego is going to be looking for the comeback from what happened there in San Diego, so be careful because of that. And then also, again, this is Sonny's first game in BMO in LA. So that being said, let's be as, even if he's not there, if he's there, let's show why we are reckoned to force of going into the 3250, going into BMO Stadium as 3252. Why it's such a hard place to play, and make him feel that. So go full 90, drink responsibly, tie your scarves, be safe. Buddy system is encouraged 100%. And if you are able to, I know it's expensive, but get parking close to the stadium as best as you can.
Well said, sir. Stay hydrated, everyone. Bam, your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, because it's a Sunday game. Remember, you got work on Monday. Don't overdo it. You want to be able to make it to work. No?
Labor Day weekend, baby. Come on now.
Labor Day weekend. So, yeah, that's why. So,
you guys actually get holidays. Wow.
I know, right?
So
it's a miracle.
For now. For now.
Well, in that case, as Tony said, just be safe. That's the biggest thing. If you're heading to the stadium and you see a random LAFC fan walking by themselves, walk with them. Show up for them, because although some people weren't involved with what happened in San Diego, they're not going to care. They're going to go after whoever they see. They'll attack the general scarfers, all that kind of stuff. So protect each other, protect one another. Again, as I always say every episode, mental health matters. It's major, it's important. Look after it, especially going into a weekend like this where people's mentality changes, and it's going to be a big one. So you got resources out there in LA, use them. And I'll say the phone numbers for you guys. You got the 800-854-7771, or you can call, text, and chat with 988. They're all for the LA County Department of Mental Health. Their services there for you to use, so use them.
Well said, sir. On point. Always look out for each other. It's essential. It's part of staying golden, as we say, week in and week out. Show up, be there for 90, be there for each other. Be your absolute best for this one. Show the world who we are every week. This is one of those great opportunities. This is the featured game of the week. There is no doubt. This is for the West, to be honest. It's that big. So be present. Be there. Now, also be aware we are dealing with an expansion team, which means we're dealing with expansion fans. And I'll say fans because, yes, they have their supporters and we ought to watch out for them. But guess what? You're going to have those naive fans that could find their way into the 3252, not the section, but the tailgate. Realize that not all of them are bloodthirsty supporters, whatever. There will be some fans that might randomly find their way in the wrong place at the wrong time. And just be mindful that not everybody's out there for the wrong reasons. So, again, be a good ambassador for your city and your club. Cooler heads will always prevail in these moments, and not everyone is a supporter that's up to no good. So, like I said, there'll be some new faces in that place that are there for the first time. There's also going to be a lot of new LAFC fans that will be entering the fray this week, with Sonny being one of us. And so there will be a few folks that are wearing black and gold that might not be privy to the environment they're walking into as well. So be mindful of them too. Again, new blood is a good thing, guys. It's not a bad thing. We expand further with our community. It only makes us stronger. So be welcoming, be supporters, do what you do best. And I think that's where we're going to be at. All right. On that note, what do we say when we close this show out? Tony?
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam?
Stay golden, everyone.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the Black black and gold is taking over.